Welcome to the introduction to the SCOTSMAN Commitment Manager. This video takes approximately 8 minutes to work through to help you understand the process. SCOTSMAN is a powerful qualification tool within the commitment-based selling methodology that helps plan and progress your sales opportunities. There will be a number of words that you may or may not have come across before that are important to the process and will be explored in context as we work through the scenario. Anything not obvious can be found in the sales training that comes with the SCOTSMAN Commitment Manager. Contact your administrator for more details about how to access it. To help, this video follows the use of the SCOTSMAN Commitment Manager to work through a scenario for a new opportunity, guiding you through the key stages of the SCOTSMAN Commitment Manager as you put your plans in place to win this deal in the most effective way, or alternatively make the decision to quit and work on something else that you can win. So we've got a new opportunity. The first thing is to create a record in the Microsoft CRM. Now, to release the power of the SCOTSMAN Commitment Manager, we simply need to switch to the SCOTSMAN view to complete a review of the opportunity. What we are going to do is plan a list of events, look at who is going to attend, what are the agendas for those meeting items, what is done in the meeting, and what commitments do we want from those meetings, what we want the customer to do physically at the end of the meeting to help progress the sale. We are then going to qualify the opportunity using the SCOTSMAN Commitment Manager. The SCOTSMAN dashboard is split into two halves: SCOTSMAN events, the meetings and calls that will be needed to progress and win the sale, and SCOTSMAN reviews. As elements are updated, they are reflected in real time on this front screen. Now, in this scenario, we are to look at a sale that follows a standard pattern, and so we are going to use a pre-agreed template to quickly populate the opportunity with relevant events and actions that we know are important to this type of sale. But don't worry if the sale is not identical to another, because the details can be easily edited. If the opportunity had related to a unique proposition, then events could be added individually into the system as required too, based on either a previously successful opportunity or as a result of a deal planning session. Now, if we need to, we can add more detail by clicking on each SCOTSMAN event to add agenda items and any further commitments needed. These will be driven out from your first review. We can also add the roles of the people that should be involved in the event. Some events might seem pretty empty at the moment. That's okay. They can be added to later and will often need to be amended after each SCOTSMAN review is completed too. Once the roles of people needed at meetings have been identified, new or existing contact records can be linked to the prospect side roles and our own users. Now we can see the dashboard coming to life. Any unidentified roles are shown, so they are kept in mind as we find out more about the prospect organization. In SCOTSMAN, the difference between stakeholders and roles is that we may not know the specific individuals, but knowing the roles means we can formulate appropriate plans to meet them. Then we will be able to see our political map coming together. The events tracker summarizes the agendas and commitments against each SCOTSMAN event and their status, which are currently unplanned. When a date is set for an event, we need to update the record. So we simply open the event record and add the details. It then shows as planned in the SCOTSMAN events tracker with the automatically created CRM event linked to the SCOTSMAN event. Just because an event is planned, it doesn't mean the plans can't be added to, as we will see later. Now we turn our attention to our first SCOTSMAN review, which will help us plan our events by identifying areas we don't know or issues we may need to overcome. To do this, we simply click the Add Review button on the dashboard. Now, if we were looking to qualify a smaller, less complex sale, we would just jump straight to this point to test the temperature of the sale and generate all our events from the outcome of the review. We first need to work through each of the 8 Scotsman areas and score 0 where no further work is needed. Where we don't know the answer, we score a 1, and where there is a potential showstopper, like in our example here, the issue that the project needs to be completed in 3 months, but our tech team say it will take us 6 months, a 10 is scored. Help reminds us what to think about. Remember, the review captures a moment in time, so it's always good practice to keep an eye on the sale. Reviewing regularly helps changes in the sale to be noticed, recorded, and actioned, like if new competition appears where there was none before. For areas with a score of 1, we need an event and agenda to find out unknown details. Where we have scored 10 against anything, we need an event, agenda, and commitment to overcome the potential showstopper. Ideally, we would enter these straight away from within the review, actioned, but for now we are going to leave them unactioned to be updated later to allow us time to plan or check something first. We can now see how useful the dashboard is. The most recent Scotsman review is at the top, and the latest potential showstoppers and unknowns are shown too, to help salespeople and managers keep track of areas that need more data and/or commitments from the prospect, and to help us plan the next meetings more effectively. Each time an element in the Scotsman Commitment Manager is changed, it is reflected in real time on the dashboard, giving everyone a place to see the progress. Now we are ready to deal with the unknowns and potential showstoppers that have come up from our first Scotsman review by checking them against our current meeting plans, that is, our current Scotsman events, agendas, and commitments. We can also add to these where we need to. To do this, we open the most recent review, which is the only review in this case. Here we can easily link the budget issue, as there was an appropriate agenda item on an existing event in the template, but the timescale issue wasn't in our plan, so a new agenda and commitment needs adding to the event. If needed, a new event could have been added here. Imagine that we have had our kick-off meeting. We need to update the outcome of the commitments. The first 2 options are simple. Yes, we got the commitment, or no, we didn't. However, life is rarely as simple as that, so we could select Open when an agreement was not reached, so it can be addressed at a future event, or like in this scenario, no longer needed, because our tech team have identified a new process, so we can now complete in the 3 months the prospect wants. We can see open commitments where actions are still needed because a definitive yes or no was not achieved at the meeting, clearly on the dashboard. The process continues in a cyclical manner with timely ongoing Scotsman reviews, events, commitments and updates as we progress through sales roadmap until enough data is known and a final fact-based decision can be made on whether to progress or quit and how best to manage the opportunity. Hopefully you can now see how the Scotsman Commitment Manager guides you through the fog of a complex sale in a non-time-consuming way to execute a great campaign with a light touch and excellent planning. It reveals key performance indicators that help the individual and sales manager assess the position and progress of the sale, and if needed, quit before too much time and effort is wasted.